Yo, what is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 gameplay video. Hey, in this video, I wanted to talk more about the build that I sort of dubbed the Warlock Plague Doctor build that I showcased in my previous video. Lots of kill streaks, multi-kills, etc. The whole idea was just about sort of spreading damage around to multiple opponents using the Arc Web ability as well as Thorn. Really just love Thorn and has this sort of a, plague sort of a feel to it, spreading this poison from player to player, and then ramping up that poison damage as you get kills, and picking up that Soul Devour perk and just tagging more people with it. I love it, really do. So the last video didn't have commentary, so I figured this video I'd showcase some more of what this build has to offer, and maybe break down my thoughts on why it works so well, how I use it, how I'm finding it to be really effective in PvP right now. And so I figured I'd do two main sections here. One, just talk about the gear, and then second part, talk about the strategies that I'm using. And the gameplay here is just a short stream that I did the other day, and it was just an afternoon stream, and we hit, I think it was 10 40 plus kill matches in just those few hours. We were popping off with this build. It was so much fun. So the gameplay should be fun and exciting, and sort of reflect that as well. So gear, first and foremost, obviously Thorn is the primary kinetic weapon that I'm using, and grabbing that Devour buff is really crucial. After you get your kills, you go and you hunt down that Devour buff, you pick it up, and then your dot is going to be much more than 3 times as effective as it previously is, right? It goes from 2 damage a tick to 7 damage a tick, which can help you get these 2 taps, right? Tap them twice and walk away. I mean, you just, cool guys don't look at an explosion sort of a thing, where you tap them twice, you just turn your back to them like, you're nothing to me now. You know what I mean? And that's kind of fun. Also, the sort of crowd control potential that then you have. Thorn is such a great weapon because it incites panic. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in the strategies portion of this video, but Thorn in the primary slot is one of the basic components here to this build. The second is the Twilight Oath. This is my special weapon in my energy slot. The Twilight Oath that I am using is the curated role. So if you don't have the curated role yet, I'm sorry. The curated role is the only one that can roll snapshot, is my understanding. So if you really want to get a snapshot Twilight Oath, you need to do some farming and get that curated role. And I really like this sniper rifle. I've not found an energy sniper that really fits my really aggressive playstyle that I have right now, other than this one. I mean, there's some other pretty zippy, lightweight, fast handling sniper rifles out there, but this one just feels so good. I really do like it, and the zoom value on the sniper is just it's so fantastic on that scope. So I'm really having a good time using it right now. You get these rapid snipes, and there's a few clips here in this video where I'm getting just guys line up and it's pop, headshot, and they just drop like flies. And you get the triple downs and the overkills, lights out. Sort of reverted to my Halo days there. Not that that's a bad thing. So the Twilight Oath, man, that's the handling and the ADS speeds. And because of the handling is so high, that leads to doing some really fun things like slide snipes, jump snipes. I have Icarus. I've got an Icarus mod on mine. So a lot of times when I'm playing with cover, sometimes I just jump up over my cover. If it's like a half wall or a box or something like that, I can just do a quick jump and scope in and get an easy, quick body shot off on somebody because I got Icarus on. So it makes it so I can do that really consistently, and then just peek back out with the primary and mop them up. Another thing that I like to do is just play really aggressive with the sniper rifle. Earlier in the video, you may have caught it, you may not have caught it, but it was on Burnout. And there's a guy that I knew was crouched, just camping on one of the bridge portions of Burnout, and I just jump up in there and I slide right into that hallway and just no-scope melee. And it's because the handling is so high, its ready speed is so much faster. Like, you can just go into a slide and immediately be able to pull the trigger and the shot will go off. A lot of sniper rifles have low handling speeds, and a lot of times you'll go into a movement of some kind and then you'll pull the trigger and nothing will happen because of that ready speed, that delay in between when you perform some sort of a movement or an activity, and then when you're actually allowed to fire the weapon, to discharge the weapon. There's this downtime in between those actions. You can't just go right into firing the weapon. So that's not the case with Twilight Oath. Is just has great handling speed, so it's ready. when you need it to be ready, and you can do stuff like that. Very, very aggressive, and that's why I love using it in this build. I'm using Top Tree Storm for this build. The arc web damage is just so good via the grenades. And one important thing to remember is that arc web doesn't work if you are dead. If you, the person throwing the grenade, you, the Stormcaller, if you throw that grenade and then you die, the arc web effect will not happen post-mortem. So you have to stay alive. So that has changed the way that I use these arc bolts a little bit, and I'll talk about that in the strategy section. But the basic idea is that you're going to toss it. You're going to toss that grenade into a group, and you're going to walk away. You're going to break line of sight. And you see this, there's a couple times even in the gameplay in this video where I will throw a grenade into a choke point where I know enemies are, and then I'll just dip to the side, and I'll just look at the wall, and I'll see these damage numbers popping up. But I won't be in there doing supplemental damage. I'll just wait to see if it cleans anybody up, if it gets any kills, and then I'll go in and I'll follow the grenade after the arc webbing sort of effect has ceased to happen. And lastly, in my gear that I'm using here, I will call attention to the fact that I am running. I skipped the transversive steps, didn't I? Oh crap! Let me hit that in a second. But anyways, using 5 grenade mods. 5 grenade mods. Some people don't like that. I would take that any day over 5 super mods. I hate supers right now. Well, I hate supers. I just think that they're starting to overshadow gunplay a little bit. I don't like that. But I'm using 5 grenade mods because my arc web grenade is just such a crucial part of this sort of crowd control that I'm doing in quick play right now. You know, sometimes you just can't count on your teammates to team fire with you, to cover angles with you, to you know, supplement your gunplay. And sometimes you just have to do stuff on your own. And these grenades have helped me play a lot more aggressive and just not worry about, is someone here to help me out? Is someone here to help take aggro? Well, with the arc webbing, I can play really, really aggressive, and it sort of steps in the gap where you might need a second player to be shooting with you. Steps in that gap, and it fills that role for you. So I'm using my 5 grenade mod so I can have these grenades back sooner rather than later. I'm also using the transversive steps. This is the last thing I'll talk about in the gear section of the video. Using the transversive steps, I have a god roll on my transverses. Mine have traction, enhanced hand cannon dexterity, and sniper rifle dexterity. So they're pretty fantastic. I choose to usually run with the enhanced hand cannon dexterity. I just like when weapons are really responsive and they feel very light in my hands. I like that because it plays well with my playstyle, which is really aggressive, and honestly in quick play it's very reckless. I have a very reckless play style. I mean, you'll see moments where I'm sliding into rooms with shotguns and I have a hand cannon and a sniper. I just don't care. Sometimes I die, you know, whatever. Big deal, it's quick play. But a lot of times it puts me in a situation where it's like, all right, Ryan, you better step up. You better land these shots. You better hit that quick scope or else you're dead. And so it leads to these high pressure situations. And my guns, at least, are very responsive between the Twilight Oath and the Thorn with my enhanced hand cannon dexterity. They're very responsive to quick, and I can just go straight into doing damage as soon as I enter a room, or go into a jump or into a slide, etc. So in terms of strategies, the way that I use this build, I try to start most encounters with a grenade if I have one cooled down, especially if I can see multiple blips on the radar, which is different for me a lot of times, at least with Destiny 2. In Destiny 1 I did this a lot. I would lead with the grenades. But a lot of times in Destiny 2, I've started to sort of switch the order. Usually I'll use like firebolt grenades, which are similar to arc bolts. More as like a means of cleaning up a kill. I'll do damage with my primary, and when they go to cover, that's when I'll throw the grenade to tag them behind cover and finish them off before they heal up. But I sort of flip-flopped that order. Now I'm generally leading with the grenade because that's how I'm cooling my grenade down faster. If I try to end with the grenade, a lot of times I'll just trade, and then I lose out on the arc webbing. Not only that, but I'm also missing out on one of the perks in my skill tree that makes it so that I'm cooling my grenade down faster as it's tagging more people with the arc webbing. And obviously if I'm dead, I'm not getting those extra tags. I'm not getting that extra grenade energy. So that's why I try to lead with it, to take full advantage of those perks and to make sure that I get more grenades. So lead with a grenade if I can. I'm also oscillating back and forth between aggression and restraint. I'll push into a choke point, I'll control it, and I'll really just pester people. Like when I play control especially, I do not cap the first zone. I know that teammates are going to do that, so I'm not worried about that. I'm going to bum rush a choke point because I have arc webbing grenades, and I'm going to bum rush that choke point, and I'm just going to be a real pest. I'm going to throw the grenades, start tagging multiple people, clean up some kills with the Thorn, maybe get a pick with a sniper, and I'm just going to be really, really annoying and be hyper aggressive. But at a certain point, I will say, okay, I got 5 kills here, or I got 6 kills here. I need to pull back and find a new place to engage at. Because what happens a lot of times is if you really lock down a position, you lock down a choke point that the enemy team has to use to get out of their sort of spawn area and into the middle of the map, and you lock that choke point down, people will get upset. You know, they'll get tired of it, and so they'll save their grenades, or they'll use heavy, or they will solo super you just because you're annoying. So you have to oscillate back and forth between aggression and restraint. Be aggressive, but at a certain point you say, okay, time to sort of back off, or pick a different angle, pick a different choke point, because I'm being too much of a pest here, and I'm gonna pay for it with a solo super of some kind, and I don't want that to happen. Obviously, I want to keep my kill streaks alive if I can. I'm always moving, even when I'm controlling a choke point. I'm always moving. You don't want to attack the opponent from the same position every time, even if I'm staying in a same general area. I'm still being very, very mobile. Part of that is because I have transverse steps. I'm trying really not to reload, because reloading is downtime, and reloading often gets you killed. So I'd rather just keep moving and make sure that my magazine is consistently being fed by my transversive steps and replenishing itself, no problem, without me taking downtime to actually reload my weapons. Sometimes it will reload if I'm in a pinch and I can't run from where I am to a different location, because that'll blow my cover and I'll get picked off, right? Sometimes we'll reload the weapons, but generally I'm trying not to. I'm also just playing hyper aggressive with this build. Like I said, it's quick play. What do I care if I die? It's no big deal. I want to do fun things, you know. That's the whole point of video gaming for me, is just to not be bored. It's just something just to have these moments where I just feel incredible. So you can't have those moments where you feel incredible if you only ever do mundane, repetitive, mediocre things. So I try to avoid that mediocrity, and just be really, really aggressive. And Thorn is really helpful for that playstyle, because Thorn is just so disorienting. People will panic. You tag them with that damage over time, and that green effect. They feel that pressure, like, oh crap, I'm poisoned. You know, incites a little bit of panic, and they rush their shots. You punish people. Even good players are susceptible to panicking, and so you can really punish people for that. So, anyways, I don't want to trail on. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Hope you enjoyed this build. I encourage you to try it out, or some rendition of it, or some form of it that you think would be fitting for you. Yeah, maybe we'll talk a little bit more about Thorn specifically down the road. I think there's things they can do to make it an even more effective weapon, but at the end of the day, I'm really just loving this build right now. So hopefully you're enjoying the gameplay. And thanks for watching. I hope to catch you in the Crucible.